Have fun. We've done this before recently. After the victory by Mamelodi Sundowns earlier this afternoon against Orlando Pirates, Polokwane City have an opportunity to close within 1 point of second position with a victory tonight over Richards Bay FC. Easier said than done, one would say, because Polokwane City's away record shows only 3 victories in the Betway Premiership so far this season, so it could be a difficult one. However, Polokwane City are unbeaten in the last 9 matches, including the match against the Bees in the opening round of the Nedbank Cup. 5 wins, 4 draws, only 1 goal conceded in all of that 9 matches, so it really is. There we have a birthday on your World of Champions. Camera 7, looking snazzy with a hairstyle, and happy birthday to you. Hope it's a wonderful day. Amanda, we were travelling in the car down to the stadium when the match was still on between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. Didn't expect that scoreline.
Not at all, Kevin, not at all. I just thought to myself, that's just how Mamelodi Sundowns really want to approach this league. Go about business as usual, but like you say, major opportunity for Polokwane City now to really try and close that gap literally against Orlando Pirates. So this is an opportunity for them. It won't be easy against Richards Bay, who just recently recorded a good win, and I think that will definitely augur very well in terms of confidence.
I think there's going to be a lot of social media speculation about, well, the league's done and dusted, blah, 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 whatever the case might be. However, Mamelodi Sundowns have only played 15 matches and Pirates a match less than that. There's still half the season remaining. Who knows what can happen in the next 4 months? Live on your World of Champions and in the Betway Premiership. But yeah, really, really solid result for Mamelodi Sundowns. And Pirates will be back to the drawing board to think about that one. However, let's concentrate on Richards Bay FC against Polokwane City, unbeaten in their last 2. Richards Bay FC held to a draw by bottom side Magesi in the 2 matches ago, and then a win over Marumo Gallants last time out. 2 changes made by coach Ronnie Gabriel coming into this one. Heard about the suspension of Mbutuma, was sent off in the Marumo match with 2 bookings in that one. And also the injury then to their defender Maboya. So Sianda Romario Del Rumini comes in at right back, and Ntlontlho Bombelo, who scored a goal for Richards Bay in that win, comes into the lineup as well.
Yep, 4-2-3-1 formation for Richards Bay. Looking forward to that congested midfield with Mteto, with his experience. Figueiredo finally off the mark in terms of goals. Hopefully that goal, the last game, will definitely boost him in terms of goal scoring. But of course, lots of work for the likes of Allen at the back.
There is Ronnie Gabriel, and he's been doing quite a sterling job as far as the coaching job at Richards Bay FC is concerned. Let's see if he can continue with that little run of unbeaten results that he's had so far. Talking about unbeaten results, Puti Mahafe doing massively for Polokwane City. In 3rd place on the table, just behind Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. No changes from the side that drew 0-0 in Mbombela with TX Galaxy, in which Puti Mahafe says was a pretty tough and robust affair. But watch out for Brian Okoth, who starts just for the 4th time tonight. Mokobedi Ramabu, Raymond Daniels, the former Hungry Lions player. Here's Amanda.
Yep, looks like a 4-5-1 formation, but we know that can change to a 4-2-3-1 with 2 double pivots in the likes of Kambala and Mapangule in that midfield. But of course, you want to look at the likes of Apollos, who I guess still need to contribute where goals are concerned. But of course, Ramabu, very exciting to watch.
Yeah, such a lot of chatter about Ozuna Polis heading off towards either Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, and speculation was rife right the way through Christmas, through January as well. And next minute you open your eyes and he's still at Polokwane City. Quite interesting it is. But Ozuna Polis is a magnificent player, and his contribution cannot be understated. And I'll be hoping that he'll come up with the goods tonight as well. He hasn't scored, by the way, since the SuperSport United match on the 17th of January, and then before that against Chiefs. So he does pick his moments. We are going to have a moment of silence, and we'll give you the details of that in a moment. Samuel Tiza Sekapani from Morocco Swallows. Mr. Matseleng Makhatle from Kaizer Chiefs Administration. Dostane, the philanthropist and billionaire. And Solly Croc, the former co-owner of Mamelodi Sundowns, all passing during the course of the last week or 10 days. May their souls rest in peace. May their families get solace from the contribution they've made to lives in their families and to others throughout their richly enjoyed lives. Our match referee tonight is Mr. Christopher Kistuer, along with Happy and Klankler and Oscar Toteti, who are our assistant referees today. Eugene Mgluli is the fourth official, just as he was in the AmaZulu match last night. And Deirdre Zeeland is the match commissioner. Important points up for grabs here at the top and the bottom of the table. Richards Bay FC third from bottom, Polokwane City third from top. And yeah, it is definitely one of those top versus bottom occasions. As I said, Polokwane City on 29 points, a chance to go 1 point behind Orlando Pirates to the win tonight, although they will have 3 games in hand over the Buccaneers. But points on the board, better than games in hand in my opinion. Richards Bay FC have a chance also to go up to 12th position with a victory. And so there's a lot at stake here at the halfway stage of the season. We're underway then at the Kings Willis Chini Stadium. We are in Umlazi tonight, joined by the former captain of Banyana, Amanda Dlamini. And I'm sure we're going to be treated to a lot of good footballing action tonight. It's Richards Bay FC in their two-tone blue colours will attack the goal to the left-hand side of your screen. Polokwane City, rise and shine in the orange, will play from left to right during the course of the first half. These teams haven't met each other so far in the Betway Premiership, and they do meet here tonight. The next meeting, by the way, is on the 30th of March, so 2 matches in close proximity to each other. Early attack, though, for Richards Bay FC. No Mbatuma for this match because he's suspended, and there's no Ntuntwana either because he's not in the matchday squad. But it does seem that Richards Bay FC want to start with piling pressure on Polokwane City and hoping that they can snaffle an early goal offside against Rise and Shine. Amanda, what do you anticipate from this match? Because there have been a couple of surprise results today. Magesi getting the second win of the campaign. They beat Cape Town City at home by 2-0 earlier today. And what about that Sundowns match? Don't think there can be too much doubt about the offside. Raymond Daniels is a quick man, 31-year-old who signed from Hungry Lions in the Motepe Foundation Championship. A little bit of rain before the match got underway as well will make it potentially a little bit tricky underfoot for these two sides. The ball will skip off a little.
Yep, and those tackles are certainly going to be tackles the referee is going to be looking out for. But of course, even just observing and watching some of the warm-ups, you could tell that the goalkeeper's emphasis was really much on handling in these surfaces.
A good defensive structure of Polokwane City. They might not be scoring the greatest amount of goals. Only 14 in the league, but they've only conceded 10 as well, the same as Orlando Pirates. Mamelodi Sundowns have only conceded 6. So with 10 goals conceded, Polokwane City have one of the least, or the strongest defences, the least leaky defence, the strongest defences in the league so far this season. Mahaffey doing an absolutely fabulous job. They've won half of their matches and they've only lost 3 with 5 draws, plus 4 goal difference. Things are looking good in the Limpopo province, and I'll tell you what, even better so, because the Sekhukhune United, who lost against Pirates in midweek, also looking rather good. They have a match tomorrow, by the way, against SuperSport United, the only match in the Betway Premiership tomorrow, because the Arrows Royal AM match has been postponed. Talking about Royal AM, and you look on the bench and you see Polisi Matupu, former Royal AM player, striker, veteran, 35 years old, who is the latest signing for Richards Bay FC. And if that's going to happen to Royal AM and they start losing players from that point of view already, they are constricted from signing because of a FIFA ban, I think, involving the Nurkovic saga. And if they start losing players, then it just becomes even more difficult. I mean, they're not even playing in the DDC anymore. They're not playing in the Premier League because of postponements. And we really do hope, for the sake of not only Royal AM and Marm Kize, Richard Makolbe, etc., but for the players, for the club status, you know, the name they've created over so many years after buying the status of Bloemfontein Celtic. Yeah, resolution, I think, is really welcome at this stage. Flicking side from Sihle Makipula. 8th appearance for him this season. 5th in the starting lineup, the 24-year-old, another former Hungry Lions player. This is Keegan Allen. He really has done well, but he doesn't have his regular defensive partner alongside of him tonight. Simpiwe Mtuneka, the 28-year-old, who's been with the club an awfully long time. Lovely ball through the middle by the home side, and Tata Makhlame looking to open the Polokwane City defence. Away by Bulelani Nikani. So Nikani and Nkaki in the centre of defence. Wanka on the left-hand side, Makibula on the right for Polokwane City. The Nkaki and Kani combination. They've played, one has played 15 times, one played 16 times so far this season. And it really is a combination that's worked beautifully, hence the least amount of goals that they've scored in the Betway Premiership.
Yeah, and I think that's his secrets, the coach's secrets, to have a balanced sort of centre-back pairing. That will definitely give the stability, but also the goalkeeper, I think, is one of the goalkeepers that gives them that stability. You were chatting about just their form as well, coming into this match, playing 5 games, not even losing one. Out of 15 possible points, they collected 9. And I think that's the competitive edge that Polokwane City will see this season.
Without a doubt, we've got to be careful not to be caught in possession, because we've got a couple of very quick players, Richards Bay FC in front. One of them, Justice Figueiredo, Eswatini born, 26-year-old who played at TX Galaxy and then All Stars FC, Cape Town All Stars, and then moved to Joburg, became All Stars FC, sold their status to Black Leopards. Again, Figueiredo loves that inside right channel. There's a little bit of space outside the penalty area to pull the trigger, but just not the final touch coming for the Richards Bay FC strikers, and good closing down from Polokwane City. Talking about Black Leopards, who have just employed Zeka Marks, who hasn't coached since the Morocco Swallows days in 2019. And also Puti Mahafe, beg your pardon, Puti Mahafe, he's the coach of Polokwane City. But the former Barocca coach has also moved in that direction, and the two of them together conjured up a 3-0 victory for Polokwane City over Cape Town Spurs in Thohoyandou today. So a good start to that tenure. Quest to try and make it into the promotional playoffs in the Motsepe Foundation Championship. Tsepa Mabua playing a high line here, Richards Bay FC, and then looking for the launch. As I said, brisk players in attacking positions. Nice little tickle forward again by Tata Makhlame, former JDR Stars and Utongati in the Motsepe Foundation Championship before signing for Richards Bay FC. Both of these teams have a history against each other, coming from the Motsepe Foundation Championship days, the National First Division. 8 matches they've played against each other. Richards Bay FC with 3 home victories. Polokwane City's last and only away win came in October 2023 by 1-0. Ramabu, who starts tonight for Polokwane City, scored the only goal of that match. The last time they played in Polokwane, the match ended in a goalless draw. That was in May 2024. Keegan Allen with the clearance. Oh, and suddenly the ball pushed through the middle here. Opportunity, and the shot had to be well saved by Salim Magula. Gets his first touch of the game, does the Ugandan goalkeeper.
Yeah, good attempt from Polokwane City, trying to play that ball in the passages, but of course the ball gets stuck underneath the foot. Still gets another chance at it, but just doesn't really connect. Nothing to trouble Magula.
Good play by Raymond Daniels, and saw Keegan Allen trying to scurry his way back into the penalty area, because that was a lovely counter-attack by Rise and Shine. Another match taking place tonight. East Galaxy against Chippa United out in Mbombela, and after their 0-0 draw against Polokwane City, I think that's 11 matches now unbeaten. Raymond Daniels tried the right-hand side, now he tries the pick up on, tries the left, now tries the right, runs into Tepa Mabua.
Yep, Daniels' profile, a very mobile striker, operates in that 18-yard box, and that's what the movements that you'd want from a typical striker like Daniels. Hopefully he can gain his form and just really start contributing to the goals for Polokwane City.
Opolis, second ball for him, nobody really closing down the dynamo for Polokwane City. Lots of blue jerseys around the ball on that occasion. A little tap back in to the danger zone by Raymond Daniels, but away comes Richards Bay FC now. Good piece of defending from Polokwane City.
It's pretty exciting to see a Richards Bay that looks a little bit different with the inclusion of Mushame, Gumede as well in their midfield. Figueiredo loves to hug the line and go a little bit wide. But the other two creative midfielders love to play in those half spaces, and we haven't seen a Richards Bay looking like this in terms of that final third and the attacking three. But the likes of Mushame, I think, and Gumede doing really well with that individual brilliance.
First corner kick of the match for the home side. Near post, Keegan Allen on the back post. There's some more pressure coming from the home side. Consecutive corners for the Rich Boys. Interesting to see how Tlhakazane Mthethwa and Coach Puti Mahafe made it very clear that he was one of the players to be watched. Mthethwa. Maybe no Nsundwana, maybe no Mutuma as well. But Richards Bay FC do have pacey players. Figueiredo's in there, Bomelo's there, Mokhlami, Gumede, Mthembu, Mthethwa. That whole midfield is a pretty solid looking one. Christopher Kistur seems to have gone to the pocket here. Yellow card to Moses Mthembu, and that's a bit unfortunate. It's his 100th match for Richards Bay FC. Not the sort of accolade he wanted, is it? Not any really great prospect of getting the ball on that occasion, but he stuck to his task and then nibbling at the ankles of his opponent, Daniels, and then trying to grab him at the same time. Daniels a bit frustrated, but a yellow card early on here for Moses Mthembu. Fabulous when you reach those triple figures, 100 appearances for your side. Now, decent ball delivered by Polokwane City. Ramamu not playing as an out-and-out striker. Got Daniels in there. Apollos is going to make his way through, but Mokibelo Ramamu almost playing wide on the right-hand side more than centrally. A little bit of niggly challenges early on in this match, Amanda.
Yeah, no, of course. You're going to expect that because the ball will move a lot quicker because of the surface. It's a little bit wet. So the players should really be mindful of those kind of tackles, those ankles as well, the late tackles. They should be really mindful.
Richards Bay FC will be banging on history to try and upset the apple cart and get themselves another 3 points after that win against Marumo Gallants. Every point vital at the moment, but if they can clinch more points tonight after that win against Marumo Gallants, that suddenly becomes 16 points. Normally in a 16-team league, 30 points is enough to survive relegation, traditionally, historically. And Richards Bay FC have less than half of that, with more than half of the matches remaining. So a bit of work to be done. However, Below them, Royal AM and Magesi still have a bit of work to do as well. That battle at the bottom of the table, Marumo Gallants, Richards Bay FC, Royal AM and Magesi, really something to watch as well. SuperSport United need to be careful not to be sucked into that, because they haven't done that well lately. We'll see what happens tonight against, or tomorrow against Sekhukhune United. Toto Leshedi picks up a yellow card.
I think it's always very difficult for teams then when they look at their, maybe their scorecard with the last 5 games, Richards Bay as well, only managing 5 points from a possible 15. I think they'll look at that, especially chasing, you know, to move out of the relegation zone, and think that they're letting themselves down. But a 2-1 win over Marumo Gallants with a red card, I thought that was an inspiring win.
They're meant to play Royal AM next weekend. It's a good ball into the area, and space for the header that is saved by Brian Okoth, new signing for Polokwane City. Played at Tusker in Kenya. He's Kenyan born, the 24-year-old. It's a nice header.
Yeah, a good header there by Bomela. But because the ball was just coming on too fast, doesn't really connect well with it. A good jump, a good leap, tries to direct it. And that's always the best way to try and header it down, so that it just skids off the surface and probably just be a bit elusive for the goalkeeper. But the goalkeeper does well in that regard.
Fascinating as well that the goalkeeper might have been a little bit impaired by his own captain, Bulelani Nikandi. I thought it was a really good save from Okoth.
Yeah.
But Bomela is only 19 years old. He already got in himself a goal in the previous match, along with Figueiredo against Marumo Gallants.
Work rate, he works really hard. He's almost like a splitting image in terms of work rate alongside Mbuthuma. So a definite good striker, I guess, in replacement of the likes of Mtsundane as well in his absence. Of course, Bomela, a good goal to start off, and hopefully he can also contribute for Richards Bay.
Already 6 fouls, 2 yellow cards from referee Christopher Kistuer. Free kick here for Richards Bay FC. It's a nice curling one as well. Allen trying to get on the end of it. Some pushing in that Polokwane City penalty area. Puti Mahafe lost against Mamelodi Sundowns in the opening round of the MTN 8 by just a single goal. Then when it beat Amazulu, beat Magesi FC to get their season off to a great start in the Betway Premiership before losing to Pirates by 3-0. But it's been onward and upward, and as you said, 9 matches unbeaten, and really have done rather nicely. 3 wins away from home in the Betway Premiership. 1 against Magesi FC, 1 against Royal AM, and 1 against SuperSport United. And one might say, yeah, but those teams are struggling at the bottom of the table. Yeah, but if you don't beat them, then you can find yourself in trouble. You've got to beat those sides if you're aiming to finish well in the top 8. And what you want to do in South African football, you want to finish in the top 4. Not in for the money point of view, but when the top 8 places get announced, then you're on the top half of the draw. And you've got a home encounter against, well, if you're in position 4 against position 5.
Yeah.
And that's a long, long way away to be decided, however. Makubela for Polokwane City. Nice bit of skill from Rodney Mapangule, former Bombele United player, and he's holding there alongside Emmanuel Kambala. So Polokwane City being a little cautious here and trying to bottle up the Mtembus and Gumedis and Moklamis in the middle of the park. That's what Puti Mahafe said at the beginning of the match. Allen will clear away from Mokiboli Ramabu.
I think, Kevin, it's just due to the mobility in that midfield. Then, therefore, you'd really want to have a double pivot, especially with the experience of Kambala in that midfield, Mapangule as well with his physique. They really want to try and boss and dominate that ball possession.
2 corners each at the start of this encounter. Mokipelo Ramabu managed to earn the corner, nicely headed away by Keegan Allen again. Rifled back in by Osman Apollis. Apollis looking for support. Mapangule. Apollis again. Or there was a bit of a wicket deflection. That only benefits one side, and it's not the one in orange. A little slider through there to Ntlonela Bomelo. Tlakusani Mtetwa was done nicely as well, and suddenly the consolidation of that midfield gives Richards Bay FC the space to try and mount that attack. Offside flag up against the home side. Assistant referee out there is Oscar Tsotetsi. Both sides offside already in this encounter. Polokwane has looked very, very lively tonight so far.
Yeah, very dynamic. Tries to really hold the line. And you can tell that he was trying to just breeze off that shoulder. But just to the ball, I think the service was a little bit delayed.
Both sides are giving as much as they're getting at the moment. Corners equally shared between the two sides. No goals as yet. Wide by Leshedi. One of two players to pick up a yellow card. That's a delightful looking ball here into Ramabo. Scrambled away by Maboa. This is Figueiredo. Haven't seen the best of him this evening so far as a box-to-box player. This man certainly can cause problems. Apolis. Mapangule. Mapangule again. Calling for it was Manuel Kambala. And just for a moment, consolidation from Richards Bay FC. I mean, Polokwane City have to go back to the drawing board. Pass doesn't reach Daniels. Strong foot up from Leshedi. Has to be careful with that. He's already on a yellow card. But again, turnover of possession. That midfield battle is going to be crucial, one feels. Figueiredo. Seen some intelligent passing tonight in tricky, wet conditions. Figueiredo away from the penalty area. And still, Richards Bay FC prepared to attack from every angle at Polokwane City. It really has been a very solid attacking performance from the Rich Boys so far.
Yeah, rightfully so. They are at home. They should be able to impose themselves. A good win as well previous to this. Highly motivated. But of course, I think for Polokwane City, it's a matter of just closing down the spaces, moving the ball a lot quicker.
Were you surprised that Osman Apollos and the defender Matuludi didn't find a home during the transfer window? Or was the asking price too much?
I'm thinking the coach really, or the club, wanted to hold on to their best superstars. And I'm just thinking that while they are at Polokwane City, they can get more offers. But sometimes it's always good to move while you're still hot property. But it's not always right. Will it align with the club that you're going to join? Because we've seen so many players with possible moves, but they stay on the bench.
Well, there's a great opportunity once again for Ntlonela Bomelo. And another good save from Brian O'Carth. Corner for Richards Bay FC.
Good delivery here from Richards Bay on the right side. Metro, like I said, because he's just so dynamic, he just creeps up into these tiny spaces, trying to find those half spaces, and makes great contact against two high and, I guess, well-respected centre-backs that should be competing for those aerial duels.
Absolutely. Another opportunity, this time for Keegan Allen, but that was a really good opportunity for Polokwane. There's almost a bit of Gabadinho Mhango about him, because he arrives and he's like gets into these little positions and you almost don't notice his arrival, but suddenly he's there, and he's proven that he can score goals. Polokwane, maybe not this season yet.
Yeah, yet you always need those kinds of players that can just give you a surprise element when you least expect.
Brian O'Carth, as we say, only starting in his fourth game. Manuel Sapunga, the goalkeeper from the Equatorial Guinea, has played the most times in goal for Polokwane City this season with 13 appearances in the Betway Premiership. Just 4 for Brian O'Carth so far. So far keeping a clean sheet, and he kept his position as well after that goalless draw against the Rockets, TX Galaxy in midweek on Wednesday.
Great physical contest here. Kambala being the one who gets involved. Definitely going to want to fight for that ball possession.
That was quite a struggle between Kambala and Clonella Bomelo. Yeah, the teenager's fearless. I mean, the way we've seen him in the opening 24 minutes of this match is no holds barred, no fear from the teenager. And, of course, the confidence of having scored that winning goal against Marumo Gallants must be deep in his subconscious mind.
Yep.
Leshedi for Polokwane City. Hesitation for the cross, and then away by Keegan Allen.
Yeah, Allen just looks a little bit frustrated at giving away these corner kicks that they should be really trying to defend a lot better, I guess, as that back four for Richards Bay to really try and deny Polokwane City of those opportunities at corner set pieces.
Lots of jostling inside that penalty. Mapangule in there as well. Nikani and Nkaki, but that's a little overly hit, and maybe turned back a little by Lebakong and Nkaki, but suddenly there's an opportunity to escape by Tulani Gumete. Haven't seen much of Gumete so far, but he was one of the players that was pointed out by Puti Mohafe as a threat. They seem to be bossing that midfield at the moment on the home side. Polokwane City being patient. Away by Nikani. But only as far as the halfway line, and Richards Bay FC has set up stall near the halfway line and not giving the visiting side any space to play in. And that shot might have been a trifle wasteful and a lack of patience on that occasion, but these things happen, and I can hardly blame Moses Mtembu for not having a dart. Seemingly that in the 26 minutes we've seen played so far, the other bits of play haven't worked, so why not a long-range effort?
Yeah. I think Richards Bay are really bossing that midfield, the likes of Mtembu, Mteto as well as the double pivot. They seem to be just controlling things, the likes of Machome playing in those half spaces. It makes it so much more better for them. Once they regain ball possession, they easily transition.
Transition here from Justice Figueiredo as it gets past Nikani. Nice recovery from the Polokwane City defense. Solid player, wasn't getting game time up to most recently, but this is his 14th appearance of the season. 7 off the bench, 7 in the starting lineup. Ronnie Gabriel, thoughtful. Also, don't forget that Richards Bay FC, besides the players that they've signed, Mriduzim Dinzani and Mkolisi Matupu, they've also welcomed Papi Zotwane into the camp. Remember him at Utongati, and then he went to Baroka for a spell. I think he was at Polokwane City as well, and now he finds himself at the Rich Boys. Throw in from Ayabonga Kwanka. Attempted header away by Mabua. Wasn't of a great strength, and Figueiredo back to try and get the possession, but this is Makebula. Now Nikani, Nkaki. Apolis. Not a great first touch, and he's harried as well. Maybe even brought down the referee. Plays an advantage to Polokwane City. Toto Leshedi will look wide again to Kwanka. And all of a sudden, it's Polokwane City who not quite been closed down the way they were in the opening 25 minutes, just finding a little bit of space to pass. Yes, it might be behind the halfway line, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when they do ping the ball forward, as they do now, what the response will be. That's a handball from Ramabu.
I think what Richards Bay have really done well up to so far is just closing down those passing gaps or passing lines that the likes of Polokwane City really like to use to locate the likes of Ramabu, to locate the likes of Apollos. They're just closing down those channels, and it makes it a lot more difficult for them to get down on the flanks, to even get crosses. We haven't seen crosses from Polokwane City, and that's their identity, and that's how they used to profit.
Lots of gesticulating. And one would say at this stage of the season, in third place on the table for Polokwane City, that there shouldn't be much pressure on Puti Mohafe. I think there's growing pressure because they're so close to Orlando Pirates, and you heard from Puti Mohafe, and whether it's bravado or whether there's a reality check needed, but he wants to put pressure on the two top sides, Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. He's not even worried about the Kaizer Chiefs, Stellenbosch FC and SuperSport United behind them, Sekhukhune United, case in point. But he does have a valid point, as we said, 1 point behind Pirates if he wins tonight.
Yeah, they are within touching distance of that second spot. But they're going to have to work hard, and it starts with Richards Bay, who are not easy to really break down, and that's the test of character that Polokwane City are going to have to show this evening.
Absolutely. Well, Richards Bay FC, they might have only scored 7 goals so far in the Betway Premiership, conceding 16, which is one of the higher concession rates. I guess you with 19 goals conceded. Even AmaZulu have 22 goals conceded and 27 for Marumo Gallants. But that's about where it ends. Kaizer Chiefs have conceded 19. So not the worst defense from Richards Bay FC, but they're not scoring goals. And they've got 7 goals in the Betway Premiership, 4 of them to Mbutuma, and he's not here. Capella trying to find Ramabu and Daniels. Daniels has been a bit quiet over the last little while, but the ball has been more on the right-hand side than the left. Figueiredo trying to make a run of it. Motlami from the left and not able to get the cross where they wanted it to. Richards Bay FC really are pushing with Tulani Kumete, 23-year-old, playing for the 15th time tonight. He has been a regular, whether it's an impact player, as we've seen right in the beginning of the season. He was used as an impact player, as a change player in the second half of matches, but more recently in the starting lineup, as he was against Marumo Gallants on Tuesday. Again, Keegan Allen in the area. He's also a rising star. Punched away half by goalkeeper Okoth, was there, push in the area. The referee has taken no action whatsoever. Doesn't show any emotion either, does Christopher Kistoer. Those opportunities really do have to test the opposition goalkeeper. And Gumede's had a couple of them tonight, and none of them have gone anywhere near Brian Okoth.
Gumede is an exciting player to watch. Creative player, 1v1 situations, really good with that ball control at his feet. Goalkeeper Okoth just not really convincing coming out of his line. That could have just been a potential push on Figueiredo, but the referee well positioned to see. Not a penalty at all.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see Mokibelo Ramabu playing a defensive role. He's been mostly active on the right-hand flank for Polokwane City. But yeah, just a footballing incident, and Figueiredo going down, looking for something from referee Christopher Kistoer, who didn't even react in any way at all, let alone favourably for the home side. Motlame. KwaZulu-Natal sides trying to get themselves away from any potential at the bottom half of the table. Lamontfort Golden Arrows down into 9th position because of AmaZulu's victory last night over Marumo Gallants. That took them up to 6th position. So AmaZulu, the leading cause as far as the Betway Premiership is concerned for KZN sides. Lamontfort Golden Arrows just inside the bottom half. Richards Bay FC 1 position above the relegation zone, and Royal AM, well, they've only played 11 matches. Apollos, I don't think he's a very pacey man, but I don't think he's going to have enough pace to keep that in play.
Yeah, he just really hasn't found his rhythm to the game, Ozone Apollos.
We were talking about TX Galaxy a little bit earlier on. 11 matches played, 5 matches, 6 draws, 20 goals scored, only 6 conceded. And that is since Beganovic took over from Ramovic. It really has been a very solid return to winning ways. The start of the season was rather dramatic as far as the Rockets were concerned. As things stand at the moment, no goals in Bombela, and no goals here either in Umlazi. Nice little tickle down the touchline as well from Moklame. Figueiredo putting Nikani under pressure. Safety first there from the skipper of Rise and Shine. Quite an interesting history for Polokwane City, who used to be Bay United down in Gqeberha, which is now Gqeberha, Port Elizabeth. Played as Bay United, but Bay United also had bought that status. There was help from Volkswagen in South Africa, and Maritzburg United were involved as a side in the amateur ranks in those days. There's a lot of history involved in these two teams, and Vladislav Heric was the coach there, and I remember him earning promotion to the Premier League back in those days. And then must be about 10 years ago, maybe 11, at the status is bought and moved from PE to Polokwane. And now they have Chipper United do Gqeberha. That's okay, they're doing all right. Nice work done here by Ramabo. Leshedi trying to put pressure on Maboa. There's a foul by Mapangule on Moklame. Yeah, it's good to see these box-to-box plays. Moklame, Figueiredo, etc., etc. I thought there might have been a handball from Mapangule there.
Yep. It's a good contest for them as well. Moklame in that midfield up against Mapangule. He's a big boy, he's strong.
Antonello Bomelo waiting in the penalty area, scrambled away by Nikani. Second bite of the cherry here. Needs to be dealt with, and sort of half and half. Climbing back in the danger zone, whipped away by Nikani once again. Persistence from Richards Bay FC, particularly from the flanks, and they're doing rather nicely. And again, work to be done by Sinclair Makubela. Katemaboa seemed to be a little push-off against Justice Figueiredo, but nothing again from the referee. I don't mind Christopher Kistura allowing the match to flow as he has done. When necessary, he has brought out the yellow cards, as we've seen on 2 occasions, of Mtembu and Leshedi picking up bookings. Leshedi talking about him. Apollis looking for a decent ball. Ramabu. It's a lovely first touch from Mokobeli. Makupela. Lovely work by Figueiredo. Look how far Figueiredo came back to do defending. And then away in the midfield by Tlakusani Mtetwa. It's a team game, is the game of football.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, Polokwane City are playing that high line, forcing Richards Bay FC onto the defensive. Whether they are accomplished in the low block, like some teams that we know, but only time will tell, I suppose. Header away by Nkosikona Ndaba. Ramabu looked initially to go back to Makupela, went on a little run into the midfield with Mapangule. That didn't quite work. Here's Mapangule again, looking for Apollis. And Apollis, lovely pickpocketing there from Sianda Romario Glamini. It's a delightful ball from Gumete, and looking to turn the Polokwane City defence inside out, and didn't quite have the pace to do that, Richards Bay.
Should have been a better pass. The weight of the pass as well. Should have been able to be a possible attack for Richards Bay.
Mapangule. Makupela forward. Now it's a Ramabu Still Ramabu with the second touch, and a little bit late to react on that occasion was Tato Leshedi, caught by Figueiredo in possession, and Tato Moklame as well. Nice recovery from Makubela. Trying to get a wriggle on here is Raymond Daniels. Haven't seen him pull the trigger yet, and a little knock over there by Nkosikona and Darba, and suddenly a Polis pops up on the right-hand side as well, but he's offside. I'm sure you know this information, but just to tell you that these two sides were back-to-back winners of the Motsepe Foundation Championship. In 2022, it was Richards Bay FC. A year later, Polokwane City, earning their place in the Betway Premiership. Continuing the battles that started in the NFD. Just lost his way a little bit there, Sikhle Makabula, but this is Figueiredo. And I tell you what, I'm full of praise for both Figueiredo and I think Moklame. Taking a leaf out of the book of the Eswatini 26-year-old, because they're both showing this propensity, drop back near their own penalty area and then launch themselves up the field of play, and they're available for the adjacent ball that comes in then.
Yep. Because what is your secondary action? Yes, your primary job is to attack, but if there's trouble, you have to track back, and it's important for the players who play, especially on the wide areas, to always try and assist. And Daba is usually isolated against Ramabu 1v1 situation. It could be 2v1 and solve the situation. So Figueiredo, well done on that. He has to track back.
Certainly does. Good second ball for Richards Bay FC, particularly inside from Ndaba. Just lost their way a little bit, and again looking for Daniels, who stays wide on the right-hand side. Richards Bay FC shading the possession during this first half, which is about 4 minutes from going into stoppage time. Ramabu, second ball arrives at him rather quickly, but he gets a third touch in front of Mapangule as well. This is Makupela, Mapangule. Lovely little triangle here from Polokwane City. Maybe a bit fortunate to retain possession from Moses Mthembu. Been a bit quiet, Moses Mthembu. Just consolidating that midfield with Tlakosani Mtetwa and Lion Gumede and Moklame Bomelo and Figueiredo to do all the creative work. Makupela again. A little bit of space for him, needs defending. Gets it as well from Mthembu. Away by Sianda Dlamini. Now Gumede. That's a very nice first touch from Richards Bay FC. Really stroking the ball around. There's such a lot of confidence, Richards Bay FC. You almost wouldn't believe that the side are just outside the drop zone from the Betway Premiership. Richards Bay FC have certainly asked a lot of questions tonight. I think the final touches, the shooting from distance and maybe even inside the penalty area has been a little lacking. We saw that one good save from Brian O'Coth. Other than that, Richards Bay FC perhaps creating the better chances, but there have been some that have been a little bit high, wide and handsome, like those two from Tulani Gumede.
Yeah, and I think they should be creating a lot more opportunities, Richards Bay, being a little bit more precise. The decision-making, it's the weight of the pass once again. Yes, they start a good move, regain ball possession, but it's always just completing it in the final third.
Good defense from Ndaba in front of Mokibelo Ramabu. Yeah, it's a warm and muggy night, as one expects in Umlance. It was a similar sort of weather conditions at the Moses Mabhida Stadium with AmaZulu yesterday up against Marumo Gallants. I really was impressed with AmaZulu and the way that Coach Zwani is getting that side together. Looking massively impressive. 6th place on the table. Apolis. Easy save for Salim Magola.
A great switch of play from Polokwane City, once again using that diagonal pass to try and locate Apolis. But again, get across, and there are no numbers in the box.
Gumede has gone down. Strong challenge from the fullback of Polokwane City, Ayabonga Gwanka. Referee says it's okay, they don't need any medical staff.
Yeah, definite foul there. You can see the hands at the back of Gumede. Clearly an obvious push here.
Yeah, clear and obvious in the back. You see how the back arched, but it was also a little bit of a headbutt in there as well from the left-sided fullback. Just 20 years old, signed from Uppington City. And again, Brian Okoth not convincing with a punch. He's tried to punch twice, and neither time has he really made adequate connection with the ball. It's almost like he's flapping at it and not quite timing it correctly.
Yeah.
Seconds away from first half stoppage time in Umlazi. Richards Bay FC continue to play the more impressive of football, and it's just Polokwane City just trying to tie up the midfield and then launch down the flanks with Ramabu and Daniels and Apollos. Referee blows for half-time. Entertaining first half, not dynamic in any way. A couple of yellow cards, but nothing really to write home about. I don't think Salim Magula has had to make any interventions of great note, but Brian Okoth has made a save or two. At Richards Bay asking maybe the better questions during the opening 45 minutes, and it's going to be interesting to see the changes when they come, if they come. What are they going to be? Will we see him Kolisi Matupu? Will we see him Duduzi Mdansani, who hasn't played for an awfully long time? Or are we going to see other players coming in? Because I'm looking at the Richards Bay FC defence and an attack amongst the substitutes. Both sides trying to play entertaining football. It's a battle in the midfield as well, and wide play from both sides. No goals in this one. It's half-time in Umlazi. Leshedi, one of two players to pick up a yellow card. That's a delightful looking ball here into Ramabo. Scrambled away by Maboa. This is Figueiredo. Was the asking price too much?
I'm thinking the coach really, or the club, wanted to hold on to their best
scoring goals, and they've got 7 goals in the Betway Premiership, 4 of them to Mbutuma, and he's not here. Capella trying to find work. Makupela again. A little bit of space for him, needs defending. The last time they played in Polokwane, the match ended in a goalless draw. That is in May 2024. Keegan Allen with the clearance. Oh, and suddenly the ball pushed through the middle here. Opportunity, and the shot had to be well saved by Salim Magula. Gets his first touch of the game. Does the last time they played in Polokwane, the match ended in a goalless draw. That is in May 2024. Keegan Allen with the clearance. Oh, and suddenly the ball pushed through the middle here. Opportunity, and the shot had to be well saved by Salim Magula. Gets his first touch of the game. Does the last time they played in Polokwane, the match ended in a goalless draw. That was in May 2024. Keegan Allen with the clearance. Oh, and suddenly the ball pushed through the middle here. Opportunity, and the shot had to be well saved by Salim Magula. Gets his first touch of the game. Does the last time they played in Polokwane, the match ended in a goalless draw. That was in May 2024. Keegan Allen with the clearance. Oh, and suddenly the ball pushed through the middle here. Opportunity, and the shot had to be well saved by Salim Magula. Gets his first touch of the game. Does the 2024. Keegan Allen with the clearance. Oh, and suddenly the ball pushed through the middle here. Opportunity, and the shot had to be well saved by Salim Magula. Gets his first touch of the game. Does the Ugandan goal in May 2024. Keegan Allen with the clearance. Oh, and suddenly the ball pushed through the middle here. Opportunity, and the shot had to be well saved by Salim Magula. Gets his first touch of the game. Does the Keegan Allen with the clearance. Oh, and suddenly the ball pushed through the middle here. Opportunity, and the shot had to be well saved by Salim Magula. They're meant to play Royal M next weekend. It's a good ball into the area, and space for the header that is saved by Brian Okoth, new signing for Polokwane. They're meant to play Royal M next weekend. It's a good ball into the area, and space for the header that is saved by Brian Okoth, new signing for Polokwane. They're meant to play Royal M next weekend. It's a good ball into the area, and space for the header that is saved by Brian Okoth, new signing for Polokwane. They're meant to play Royal M next weekend. It's a good ball into the area, and space for the header that is saved by Brian Okoth, new signing for Polokwane. Next weekend. It's a good ball into the area, and space for the header that is saved by Brian Okoth, new next weekend. It's a good ball into the area, and space for the header that is saved by Brian Okoth, new next weekend. It's a good ball into the area, and space for the header that is saved by Brian Okoth.
We're going to join because we've seen so many players with possible moves, but they stay on the bench.
Well, there's a great opportunity once again for Nklonelo Bomelo, and another good save from Brian Okoth. Corner for Richard Spade.
We're going to join because we've seen so many players with possible moves, but they stay on the bench.
Well, there's a great opportunity once again for Nklonelo Bomelo, and another good save from Brian Okoth. Corner for Richard Spade.
We're going to join because we've seen so many players with possible moves, but they stay on the bench.
Well, there's a great opportunity once again for Nklonelo Bomelo, and another good save from Brian Okoth. Corner for Richard Spade.
We're going to join because we've seen so many players with possible moves, but they stay on the bench.
Well, there's a great opportunity once again for Nklonelo Bomelo,
but they stay on the bench.
Well, there's a great opportunity once again.
Moves, but they stay on the bench.
Well, there's a great opportunity.
Moves, but they stay on the bench.
Well, there's a great opportunity. Welcome you back to the Kings Welachini Stadium. We are in Umlazi tonight, round 17 of the Betway Premiership. Richards Bay FC playing host to Polokwane City, against whom they've won 3 times in home matches, including a Nedbank Cup match in round 1 last season. They lost in the second round to SuperSport United by 3-1, but they did beat Polokwane City 3-2 in the last time that there was a home match for Richards Bay FC. Prior to that, in the Cup in December 2021, Richards Bay FC won on penalties. Prior to that, their only other league victory has come, or the only league victory has come by 3-0 in the first division, the MFC, in March or April of 2021. Polokwane City with only that one away victory in the Betway Premiership on the 4th of October 2023. Fans waiting in anticipation for maybe a better half technically and tactically from these two sides. A midfield battle no doubt to continue under the mentorship of our match referee today, Christopher Kistoer. Puleng Marema, about to make his appearance, has been employed as an impact player for Puti Mohafe so far this season. He's only played 3 times in the starting lineup, but his substitute tally will move up into double figures as he comes on for the 10th time as a player. Watch out for him from set pieces, watch out for him from the creativity in the midfield as well. So he's going to come on for Tato Leshedi. I don't think that's any great surprise with Leshedi having picked up a yellow card in the first half. So Puleng Marema is on. We also have a substitution for Richards Bay FC. We're going to bring on Langelichle Mhlongo for Moses Mtembu. And it's quite interesting to see, from what we can only hypothesize as a similar thought process from the coaches, because both players that picked up yellow cards in the first half have been substituted at the beginning of the second. Underway then at Umlazi, Polokwane City, Richards Bay FC. Polokwane City in the orange will attack the goal to the left-hand side of your screen. Richards Bay FC in the 2 colors of blue will play from left to right during the course of the 45 minutes of the second half. Amanda Lamini, who was with me in the first half, is still present. And Amanda, yeah, quite a tactical first half, and both sides almost with similar sort of strategies. Maybe Richards Bay FC shading it, and we spoke about the box-to-box plays like Moklame and Figueiredo. Bomelo had a couple of opportunities. The best save certainly came from Brano Okoth, and he had to punch a couple of times as well. That didn't seem to be that successful, but Richards Bay FC will be hoping to build on that. However, are Polokwane City being cagey in the first half under Puti Mohafe, as we see a ball being played in Keegan Allen with a nice clearance, and playing almost a similar sort of situation that TX Galaxy used to employ under Said Ramovic, where they'd be happy to go into half-time level at 0-0, and then suddenly bang on a couple of impact plays and rip the second half to shreds, and you know, come up with positive results. We saw that quite often from the Rockets.
Yeah, I think it's always just a great approach to the game. But I think for Polokwane City now that with the introduction of Marema, he, I guess, as a midfielder, his profile much more creative. He has a good eye for a pass, and I think he's one of the players that can actually locate the likes of Apollos, because that's the only thing that's missing for Polokwane City. It's that final pass. When they get in the wide areas, there's a cross or a cutback, but there's no striker to finish. So definitely Marema is going to drive that forward.
One of the players in South African football that has had a name change for whatever reasons there are, family reasons and personal reasons, and nothing wrong with that. So former Puleng Klolani, almost like the captain of Orlando Pirates earlier today, Koki, also had a surname change that's not uncommon in South Africa. It's very interesting to listen to the stories, though, and when you travel as much as what we do by road, and you get players in the car with you that have had these sort of experiences, and they can tell you exactly how it happened and the history going back and going forward again. It's fascinating. Not only when ladies get married do surnames and names get changed.
Are you hinting at something?
Immediately looking to get on to things here, Polokwane City, and Kwanka. Watch President Kwanka trying to latch onto the ball. He's got a bit of space and time here as Kwanka The defence just caught a little bit static with Tsepa Mabua. And it certainly is a little bit more purposeful here, one feels, from Polokwane City in the second half. Mapangule. Whipped forward by Manuel Kampala. A whole gaggle of Richards Bay FC players in the middle of the park, and they again hunting as a pack here are the Rich Boys. Again, no way through for Apollos, who seems to be playing a much more central role suddenly. Wanka pushing a lot higher from his fullback position for Polokwane City, and then wide on the other side we've got Raymond Daniel. So also an Apollos suddenly playing a different role.
Yeah, it's just that front three, as we have a look at this foul on Figueiredo. Yep, Polokwane City really trying to drive the ball a little bit forward now to really try and create those opportunities. But Apollos in front three with Daniels and Marema just now joining into that attacking three. They always just want to move and interchange the positions. It's always good to be a bit mobile and give options in and around that final third.
Tsepa Mabua with a carry. Tetwa, Allen. There is a bit of space wide with Romario Glamini. Was there a little push in defence from Polokwane City? The referee says no, there wasn't any passage through for Bomelo either. But they're being very watchful with Nklonela Bomelo. Down the other side, chance for Polokwane City, but like the chances we saw from Richards Bay FC in the first half, they're not testing the goalkeepers at either end. Ramabu continues wide on the right.
Yep, and I think the only issue at this point in time, as Ramabu apologizes, is just not having options in and around that 18-yard box. The likes of Kambala are only joining the attack much, much later, and you need your midfielders to also join in the attack apart from the strikers.
5 minutes have elapsed in the second half, and so far it's been Polokwane City who've been asking the questions. There's a man who could turn this game on its head in a blink of an eye. Puleng Marema, 33 years old. Haven't had a free kick anywhere near the Richards Bay penalty area, but if they do have one, watch out for Puleng. 2 goals for him so far this season. Scored against Magesi FC, scored against Marumo Gallants as well in the opening round of the Carling knockout. Good ball in here. Mokhlame lays it back from whence it came. Figueiredo. Oh, it's a good piece of defending from Guanca.
Good piece of defending indeed. It's good to see Figueiredo as well having a go at the left back. 1v1 situation. Stays on his feet, very strong, and wins a corner for Richards Bay.
Had a chat to Samuel Ntundwana during the half-time break, and he was telling me he's got a bit of a groin injury, and so he was rested for this one, not only because he's got a groin injury, but even if he was slightly fit to play. As we watch this corner from Kumete, keeper stays on his line. The header is a powerful one, finds the back of the net. Richards Bay FC score. Just 6.5 minutes into the second half. The Rich Boys go in front here. And look at the celebration. 2 goals against Marumo Gallants on Tuesday. Brian O'Cock beaten at the start of the second half, and there'll be a great deal of happiness in the Richards Bay FC camp. Can't say the marking was that prolific, to be honest. Klakusani Mtetwa. Now, those words will come back to haunt the Polokwane City players. Puti Mahafe warned them against this player.
Yep. Polokwane City will have a look at this well-delivered corner by Kumete, finding Mtetwa. Not the tallest of your players in that midfield. Good experience. Directs it very well past the goalkeeper, Okoth. No chance. But to be honest, Polokwane City haven't really looked convincing dealing with those corners.
3 goals in a match and a half so far. Mtetwa opens his account. Former Swallows man, Mtetwa. 15th appearance of the season for the number 6. Does that inject a little bit more enthusiasm? Yeah, it was interesting when the ball was played in, because as you say, he's not a tall man, he's Mtetra. And Kambala was just, he wasn't goal side of him, he was on the far side of him. Mtetra got ahead of Manuel Kambala, the Mozambican. Scored the goal. Now here's another opportunity, this time it's Moklame. Oh, that's not the greatest pullback. And easy pickings for Apollos to get rid of Polokwane City. They'll be a lot more anxious now to get onto the score sheet. As we said, 9 matches unbeaten in League and Cup, Polokwane City. And that attack bottled up very nicely by Richards Bay FC again. They're working hard here, particularly in Clonela Bomelo. The width from Moklame, the pace and presence of Figueiredo, all assisting, but Bomelo in the lone striker's role just about. Spoke about Ntsuntwana, and Ntsuntwana, it's precautionary not to bring him back too early because of the wet conditions, and all you need with a slight groin strain is to slip while going for the ball, and boom, it's gone. And you find yourself out for longer than might have been the case, and is an important part of this Richards Bay FC side.
Yep, absolutely.
Kaki. Almost thought he was going to have a second bite of the cherry. Now suddenly also Apollos is playing a fetch and carry role for Polokwane City down the middle, and Polokwane City about to make a double substitution as well, so that's going to be interesting. Immediately after the goal came, referee playing an advantage here to Polokwane City, will bring it back for the foul. Marema was fouled on that occasion, so we are going to see Ramabu making way. Bafana Nana will come on in his place for just his second appearance of the season, the right winger. So almost like for like. He was playing down the right-hand side, was Mokibeli Ramabu. Has scored 2 goals this season, but Puti Mohafi bringing on a fresh pair of legs and more different ideas from Bafana Nana. 24-year-old hasn't scored so far this season, but perhaps an opportunity for him to accomplish that tonight. So pulling Marema on, Bafana Nana on. Ball whipped away from the danger zone by Richards Bay FC. Anyway, will do, because they were playing behind the halfway line. Figueiredo was the man who whipped it clear. Easy here for Makubela. This really would be a little bit of a stumbling block for Polokwane City. So keen to get themselves close to challenging the top 2 in the Betway Premiership. Starting the match 4 points behind Orlando Pirates, 5 points ahead of Sekhukhune United. Good ball away by Nkaki. Wonder if Richards Bay FC can build with the confidence that a goal gives you in a football match, particularly when it comes so early on in the half. Incredible. A point against Magesi, although Magesi would have said that they're happy with that point. Now Moklame, can he build on something here? Justice Figueiredo just stumbled over the ball a fraction, accelerates towards the goal and fires wide. Well, Moklame was waiting in the middle, Bomelo too. Figueiredo only had one sight, and that is to get past Brian Okoth. He did hit it with some power, didn't he?
Yep. A good counter press there from Richards Bay, starting off from Bomela, the striker. Mashomo picks it up nicely. Those 3 in that final attacking third seem to have some cohesion working together, but Figueiredo, explosive pace to get into the box, but that execution, just going for power instead of just really trying to beat the goalkeeper, force a save.
One match tomorrow, there's a match on Tuesday as well, with TX Galaxy playing a catch-up game against Mamelodi Sundowns. And then it's back to the Nedbank Cup on Wednesday, with SuperSport United playing Cape Town Spurs. Lots to happen before that takes place, though. And looking at the TS Galaxy Chipper United match, that's almost the same time as this one. No goals out in Mbumbela for the second match in a row. But Coach Boganovic continues to remind everybody, point at a time. There's no panic here. 16,023 tackles made over the course of the 58 minutes we've experienced so far. Polokwane City in the more attacking side in the second half, but they allowed Tetra some freedom from a corner to score a header pass to Brian Okoth, trying to return the favour here, Polokwane City. Shaking the head from the Dynamo Aswanapolis. I wonder how much say Aswanapolis has about his own future, or whether the club's dictating terms to him. Certainly holding on to him. I mean, if you look at Polokwane City at the moment, and you talk about a 16-team league, and you talk about 30 points to avoid relegation, well, they're on 29 points already, and we're only halfway through the Betway Premiership season, so there's no problems about that situation. I think consolidation for the top 8 would be at the back of the mind of Puti Mohafe. He certainly doesn't want to disturb the first half of the season prominence that they've had, Polokwane City. Mapangule. Apollos not able to make the first contact that he was looking for. It allows Richards Bay FC an opportunity then to counter. Gumede and Mtembu controlling matters. So is Tlakasani Mtetra. Points back towards the centre-backs. This is Keegan Allen. Salim Magula. Now that they've scored a goal, we settle down into a predictable pattern here to Richards Bay FC. Certainly do have capabilities, as they've shown in the last couple of weeks. Forward by Bafana Nana. Again, rather wasteful ball, because that was never going to reach Aswanapolis. Nice work done by Nikani in the centre of defence, but the hard work continues from Figueiredo, and also, for that matter, from Toto Mokhlame. Been impressed with Mokhlame, very impressed tonight. Strong header away by Makubela. It'll be a free kick for Richards Bay FC, and gives an opportunity for Polokwane City to make another change. They're going to bring on Moiketsi Baklapani in his 5th appearance of the season. 4 times off the bench for Moiketsi, the teenager who plays in the midfield. He'll come on for Rodney Mapangule, so bringing on a bit of youthful exuberance in the place of the experience that Mapangule would have offered. Interesting change by Puti Mohafe. Ball cleared by Makubela. Second ball almost to Polokwane City. No way through for Kembala.
Yeah, Mteto's been doing an excellent job in that midfield, really trying to compete and go toe-to-toe with the likes of Kambala.
Haven't seen much more of the rain that we had at the beginning of this encounter, and certainly when we landed here yesterday, the runway was drenched in rain. Bafana Nana with a lovely little touch. Polokwane City looking to build with pace here in Umlazi. Appeal for Sianda Dlamini. We thought there was a final touch from Polokwane City. So once again, it's Nkaki. Nice first touch from Makubela. Nkaki again, absolutely no way through on that occasion. Everything that Polokwane City is throwing at the Rich Boys is being bottled up at the moment, and suddenly Ronnie Gabriel is finding his form. It's almost like what's happening at Amazulu at the moment. I don't know what happened at Christmas time in KwaZulu-Natal, but tell you what, Coach Wani is doing a fabulous job at Amazulu, and Ronnie Gabriel looking to do the similar thing here at the Richards Bay side, offside here against Nklonela Bomelo. Just behind the assistant referee, Happy and Clarkle. You can see just how wet the surface of this Umlazi Stadium pitch is still. Figueiredo turns away from Nana. Mtetwa. Mabua. No, Amanda, Richards Bay FC just controlling the pace of this match and potentially the direction of it as well.
Yeah, they seem to be exercising a bit of patience with that one-goal cushion. They're dictating terms, but very, very disciplined in their defensive organizations. Not giving time or space for Polokwane City to really operate, making things very difficult for Polokwane City.
Referee over to have a chat to Mtetwa, goes into the book. Both Mtembu and Mtetwa in the book today. Yeah, he got the ball away. I mean, the ball clearly changed direction, but then so did Marema. I don't think there can be too much argument about the yellow.
No.
Polokwane City have to make use of every single opportunity. 3 yellow cards from referee Christopher Kistur tonight so far. That's just far too easy in defense for Richards Bay FC. They're not really challenging in there. Where's Nkaki, Nikani? They come up on Gule, but Daniels maybe a little bit on the short side. Osmanopolis too, but we've seen a goal scored by Mtetwa, who's not the tallest bloke. This man's had opportunities, just as Figueiredo. I had a chat to him towards the end of last year, and he was being used more as a substitute, but suddenly he's popping up in the starting lineup more regularly. Is the former All-Stars player, and he's relishing in it. Pulling Marema, 20 minutes into the second half. Richards Bay FC leading by 1-0. 3 goals scored, 1 conceded in the last 1 2/3 matches, punched away by Salim Magula. And they get second ball as well, which is so crucial in the game of football. And a whole swarm of blue jerseys over the halfway line. This is Pomelo. Support coming from Mtetwa. And they just consolidate to Richards Bay FC. Not in any great hurry. Not yet anyway.
You're speaking about some of the work that Richards Bay could have been doing over December, but it's good to see that there are different combinations that the coaches are trying to really play around with.
Absolutely. Marema now through the middle. Keegan Allen with a good stop and good touch in there as well from Mokhlame. Frustrating evening for Polokwane City, and suddenly they have an opposition that's not allowing him space to play. Marema's foul this time on the substitute, Langalichli Mklongo.
Yeah, it's been a very insipid performance by Polokwane City, just hoping that they fire up a little bit, just take the game to Richards Bay.
Easy hit away by Guanqa. That's going to not serve them too well. Polokwane City, who suddenly have to turn and work on the defensive. Nice work done here by Makubela, beg your pardon. Trying to dribble their way out of danger here. Pressure on Brian Okoth. Nkaki. Forward by Guanqa. Quite keen to get on to things as quickly as possible. We're here halfway through the second half now. The ball pinged through the middle by Bafana Nana. Looking for second ball, pulling Marema. Nana again, swept away by Mabua. And then Figueiredo, good first touch from Figueiredo. Work to be done by Mokhlame. He didn't even look up, he was So confident of that first-time ball in towards Bomelo.
Yeah, good idea. Wanted to just hit it first time while the strikers or the oncoming midfielders are running onto the ball. That's the perfect way to deliver it. Alexa Figueiredo just maximizing on the space and making themselves useful for the second action of the game.
Now, it's fascinating for me in the midfield how coach Ronnie Gabriel has introduced Mklongo in the place of Tembu, who was taken off because he had a yellow card. Then Mtetu picked up a yellow card just after that. But just consolidating the midfield and then just bottling it up completely. And Polokwane City not able to find the passes to get the width going. Gumete looking for Keegan Allen. Allen does find a header and swept into the back of the net. Shocking defending from Polokwane City. They pay the price, and that is a wonderful goal from Richards Bay FC. 2 goals in each of the last 2 matches. These are important goals. These are important points for the side just outside of the relegation zone. Oh, just beautifully executed, wasn't it?
Yeah, at this point in time, Richards Bay would really want to use those corner kicks because they seem to be profiting. Another corner set piece from Richards Bay that Polokwane City can't or fail to deal with. Beautiful ball once again from Mukumete, who seems to be the set piece specialist. Allen with the second ball. Polokwane don't clear their lines, and Bomela, a striker, typical striker's goal, always just lurking in front of goal, converts for Richards Bay to make it 2.
Now he just sneaked in off the back of Makupela and company, and again ball watching from Polokwane City, and all he needed was half a yard. The ball fell perfectly to him from that little knockdown from Keegan Allen, who will claim another assist. Look at him, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And Nklonela Bomelo, 2 goals in 2 matches. He's just 19 years old, and a new face of goal scoring in South African football rises to the surface. Goal coming just a minute before the 70th minute of the game. So 20 minutes and stoppage time remaining in Umlazi. Polokwane City, last time they conceded more than 1 goal was against Mamelodi Sundowns on the 6th of November, 3 months ago. Did concede 3 against Maruma Gallants in the Carling knockout, but 3 goals against Orlando Pirates as well. So 3 against Pirates in the league and 3 against Sundowns in the league. One can possibly understand that. Otherwise, there have been 2 goals conceded against Mamelodi Sundowns as well. Apollos still continues with that midfield role of his. Just not finding him on top of his game here today. Otwin Apollos. Work to be done by Chepo Mabua. Nana with a little touch. Just going backwards at the moment, Polokwane City. There's absolutely no respite from Richards Bay FC. The organisation, the way they have put their game plan together tonight from the Rich Boys has been super impressive. And I'm sure that Ronnie Gabriel will be mighty pleased if you had to go down and do a spot interview with him right now, which of course we're not. Nana on the overlap. Allen to the rescue. And Allen, the second ball as well, and might pick up a foul for the push. Shannon Dlamini is going to make way for Fizili Kwaraba in defence for Richards Bay FC. Nklonela Bomelo, who's picked up the goal tonight, is also going to make way for Olisi Matupu, who will debut tonight for Richards Bay FC. Only played twice off the bench for Royal AM. Justice Figueiredo off as well. Bringing the changes. Ronnie Gabriel, Haba Matupu, and Wandile Ngema, who is on debut today. Ngema more of a defensive player, so it's going to be interesting how he slots in. There's so much time remaining. We 17 minutes and stoppage time away from full time, so maybe risky business for Ronnie Gabriel, but he's giving a couple of players chances to play. Wandile and Gema on debut completely, and then a debut match for Polisi Matupu, the 35-year-old striker who signed from Royal AM. Of course, he's played for many other clubs, Bidvest Wits, TX Galaxy, Royal AM most recently. He has a wonderful pedigree. Last played on the 30th of October last year against Polokwane City, losing by a goal to nil. Royal AM in one of the matches they were able to complete in the 11 that they've played so far. Still no way through for Polokwane City, still no way through for Otwanapolis and company. And I tell you what, for Richards Bay FC, the consolidation of the midfield, the unending pressure that they're trying to cut out, the balls being knocked into the penalty area by Polokwane City has been impressive, because that's exactly what Puti Mohafe was trying to accomplish. But it's almost been turned around on him.
Yep. As we look at another attempt from Polokwane City to really try and use their wide areas, but Richards Bay doing really well to keep the internal distances and to keep that low block very secured.
Otwanapolis hasn't been as impressive as we were hoping to tonight. And Bongi Nkosi Dlamini, right winger from Platinum City Rovers, who were relegated from the Motepe Foundation Championship at the end of last season. He comes on, he's more of a right winger and has played 4 times in the starting lineup for Polokwane City, once as a sub. Will make that twice for tonight's appearance, and has scored on one occasion. It is the only goal of the match against Royal AM at the end of October last year. Don't forget, Royal AM haven't played in 2025 at all. Their last match was on the 29th of December. And if you look at Polisi Matupu, the last time he played was in that match at the end of October, where Dlamini scored against Royal AM. Looking for a third and decisive goal here are Richards Bay FC. The ball doesn't go anywhere near Keegan Allen, but they're still applying pressure here on the home side. Difficult on the turn for Wandile and Gema, and easy for Brian Okoff. Perhaps the easiest take he's had to make, but there's nothing happening for Polokwane City over the halfway line, is there?
Not at all. It's almost as if they're lacking that creativity in that midfield, that spark in terms of just firing and running those wide areas, running the wide channels that we know Polokwane City to do.
Richards Bay FC might have more than just a week's break. Let's pause that thought for a moment, because there's another opportunity that barrels back off the captain, Bulelani Nikani, from Tato Mokhlame. Continues to be impressive tonight. Now Bafana Nona. And again, a straight pass finds a player in a blue jersey. So Richards Bay FC meant to play Royal AM over the weekend of the 18th of February, and then after that against Stellenbosch FC on the 21st, which gives them 13 days, nearly 2 weeks after this match, then to recover from these proceedings. Fancy that Moklami would have been offside anyway, but nice clearance from Bulelani Nikani. Polokwane City, one has to give credit to the way they're approaching this match. It's almost like watching Maruma Gallants last night against Amazulu, because they tried and they pushed and they looked for angles, and it almost looked like they were playing like 10 individual outfielders last night, and that's exactly what Coach Dandon Smalasela said when I interviewed him after the match. But one has to give credit to the side that put the pressure on them the way Amazulu did. And that's what we're seeing from Richards Bay FC. So whatever was in the Christmas pudding seems to be working out in 2025.
Yeah, and if you look at both teams, the profiles, as we have a look at Songo here, going down on a foul, Marima just taking him down. But just back to the point of those midfielders, you look at the shape in which both teams, Richards Bay seem to have their lines and internal distances very equal. Polokwane City, very open, not in touch and in tune with each other. So many gaps in that midfield. Once they go on a transition or bypassing the midfield, the defenders take time to get closer to the midfielders, and the midfielders take time to join the attack. So there's just that disjoint that you're seeing at Polokwane City.
Spoke about Richards Bay FC's potential next match being in 2 weeks' time. Polokwane City have a match on next Thursday. Not often we have matches on a Thursday on the World of Champions, but certainly there is going to be one, because the Nedbank Cup starts on Wednesday. We spoke about that as Alan makes a challenge with SuperSport United hosting Cape Town Spurs at the start of the second round of the Nedbank Cup, the Cup of Dreams. Polokwane City plays Stellenbosch FC down in the Winelands on Thursday, just the day before Valentine's Day. It's not going to be an easy one either. They did play to a 1-1 draw on the 29th of September when they met in the Betway Premiership. The meeting in cup competition is always an interesting one. No matches in the opening round, by the way, went to extra time or penalties, so it's going to be interesting to see what the second round produces. Free kick in the meantime, though, for Polokwane City. Nice take for the Ugandan keeper, former Pretoria Callies, 29-year-old Salim Magula, into double figures in his playing starts today. Ndaba has moved forward and wide again from Wandile Ngema. Turnover ball for Polokwane City, but all the teammates behind the halfway line here for Rise and Shine. Domini trying to push the agenda on that right-hand side, but just not getting anything out of it. It's just disjointed and static. Marema now with a testing ball, cleared by Maboa. Another bite of the cherry. How many times have we said that those shots have to be test the goalkeeper, and they're not from either side really that we saw. The long-range shots early on before the goal started coming from Tulani Gumede on 2 occasions.
Yeah. Yeah, good clearance from Richards Bay. Not being able to deal with the second ball. Daniels just picks it up on the edge of that 18-yard box. Could have done better to keep the shot a little bit low.
Yeah, it's got to be, you know, there was time and space, and when we talk about time and space, the space might be within half a yard or even less than that, and the time might be in milliseconds. However, when you're in that sort of area, you just have to pick your spot and you have to test the opposition goalkeeper. There was enough time and space for him to do that, I believe, Daniels.
Yep.
Bit of an injury worry to Salim Magula. Richards Bay FC lead by 2-0. The final 10 minutes and stoppage time still to be played in Umlazi. And the longer this game goes on, the less the prospects of Polokwane City scoring a goal seem to be, without any disrespect to Rise and Shine and the prolific season that Pudi Mahafe has put together so far. Man with an injury is Lebachang and Kaki. Maybe just taking a knock in the tummy, and apology seems to be coming from Polisi Matupu, uncompromising player. Polisi Matupu been around the game of football for an awfully long time now. They made 2 new signings to Richards Bay FC, at least 2 of them, and one of them is Mduduzi Mdansani. And if Polisi Matupu hasn't been in action for some time, well, Mdansani, who left Cape Town City for the plum signing at Amakosi Kaizer Chiefs, last played in May, 25th of May 2024. That's not even this season. I think it was the last match of the season for Kaizer Chiefs against Cape Town Spurs before Spurs were relegated, and ended up being a 2-0 victory. But Mduduzi Mdansani last played at the end of the final game of last season. He's on today for his debut match for his new club, and I must say I'm so pleased. You know, he burst onto the scene at Baroka FC, and then went to Cape Town City in a plum signing as it was then, before moving to another plum signing with Kaizer Chiefs, and it had success written all over it. I mean, he was dynamic, and it just came to nothing, and that's disappointing, whether it's him or whether it's the system he fell into or didn't quite adapt to. But he's a quality player.
Yeah, absolutely. Mtanzana is a quality player. Great potential as well. He's one of those players that I guess Richards Bay are definitely going to maximize in terms of talent, but the creativity, he can drive the team forward, and he's got a good eye for a pass.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's going to play almost in an attacking midfield role just behind Polisi Matupu. So the two new signings then will create part of the spine then for Richards Bay FC. And you've got Alan and Mapua, then Mneka in the centre of defence. And you've got the youngsters like Bomelo and Figueiredo, Moklame. Yeah, I'm starting to like what I'm seeing in Richards Bay FC. Not that they haven't been, you know, accomplished anyway. I mean, they won the Motsepe Foundation Championship title in the end of the 21-22 season, and have, even though they played in the playoffs last season, they won that comfortably over Tucson Baroka. Nana knocked away easily by the defence of Richards Bay FC. Alan and Mabua working in tandem, working terrifically in tandem. Sinclair Makupela has had a couple of opportunities, but nothing really to bring a quality ball into that penalty area. Can they do something from a set piece? Polokwane City. Tough match on the 13th of February next week against Stellenbosch FC. 10 corners, 4 of them to the visiting side. They do have a header. Allen, though, gets there first. Polokwane City looking to ping the ball in again. They do have second ball here. Bafana Nana. Figueiredo got a little touch that disrupted the attack from Polokwane City. We'll try again. One way and then the other as far as Polokwane City is concerned. Or the skipping the ball into the defense. Great opportunity. Not even that can be taken by Moiketsi and Paxlabani.
Polokwane City really trying to force an attack on Richards Bay. Marima with the cross, finding a teammate unmarked. Just goes underneath it. That was a good potential. That was a good opportunity for Polokwane City to at least get one back.
Lovely creativity from Puleng Marema. Nice first touch from Bafana Nana. He's been impressive since he's come on. Further work done in the midfield by Mongikosi Dlamini. Now all of a sudden there's a burst of enthusiasm from Polokwane City. The shot though, not a particularly good one.
Polokwane City seem not to have the ideas and the options at this point in time, just being forced to really take shots from outside of range.
Salim Magula, clean sheet so far. Four minutes and stoppage time away from full time in Mlazi. 2025 and February in particular starting to become rather profitable for Richards Bay FC. And another chance potentially. No. Nicely away. Up towards Bafana Nana. Nice work cleared by Abonga Ganka. Certainly there is a little bit more creativity after the introduction of Marema in particular. Dlamini and Batlabani, who had that great chance earlier on. And second half possession for Polokwane City, 60-40. But yeah, nothing that set the world alight as far as goals are concerned. Polokwane City failed to score against TX Galaxy. The last time they'd failed to score was against Arrows, and that was in 2024, December, the final match of the first half of the season. But that'll be disappointing, the result tonight for Puti Mahafe. I think he'll be circumspect. I think he'll look at it and say, you know, this is where he's very technically adept, is Puti Mahafe. There won't be any excuses made by the coach. But for Ronnie Gabriel, I'll tell you what, I'm so pleased that things are coming together. And if you look at the coaching staff that they have here at Richards Bay FC, Ronnie Gabriel, Sibaniso Gumede, Papi Zotwane, good that to see Poppy Zotwane, remembering his playing days, very attacking sort of player, no nonsense, and it's good to see that he's getting these opportunities. Just about cleared away by Bulelani Nikani, living dangerously. Allen caught a little bit flat on the halfway line, cleared by Richards Bay FC's Tsepo Mapua.
It's been very interesting to actually see that combination of Allen and Mabuya, who usually is a left back or sometimes plays on the right back position. But this time around, there's good chemistry and understanding between the two.
Yeah, there certainly is. Allen again to the rescue. They pull the trigger again, Polokwane City, but it's not decisive, and it certainly isn't first time. They'll have a free kick here, and in a very, very promising position, Polokwane City will. Man who's down is Manuel Kambala.
This is the identity of Polokwane City. They operate and they profit on the wide areas, bringing in those crosses. Failing to deal with the second ball. Ntetua shouldn't have, I think, given up that foul. You're in front of an opposition. The least you can do is just really try to jog them and force them to play either a ball out wide or play it back.
This is the moment the game could change. Marema on the ball. We've spoken about the exploits of pulling Marema. Not sure if Salim Magula has had a good chance to have a look at the pedigree of the Polokwane City number 10. Lefana Nana alongside of him. Surely it's got to be Marema, otherwise it's going to be the long-range effort from Sinclair Makupela maybe. Options available. It is the defender through the wall, not through the keeper. It's a good stop from Salim Magula. Well positioned.
Yeah, brilliant stop. Thinking about the number of bodies in front of him and still managing to see a well-executed free kick from Polokwane City. Kambala with the power, hard and low, but good goalkeeping from Magula.
It came up for Richards Bay FC. Nice little touch from him. He gets the return pass. Can he keep it in play? He has just about as well. And Kema with a knee on the ball, both knees. Some fans like it, some fans don't. But yeah, it's good for the man on debut. Starting to play with a little bit of swagger now, Richards Bay FC. We are in second half stoppage time, 2.5 minutes away from full time. They put in a good shift tonight. Have the men in blue.
Yeah, no, they have indeed. I think good organization, keeping the shape, really denying the operating spaces for Polokwane City and maximizing on set pieces. Not the best in terms of creating those obvious goal-scoring opportunities for Richards Bay, but they certainly maximize on set pieces.
I want to do better against Stellenbosch FC in the Cup on Thursday next week, although they do have a chance here, half a chance. Polokwane City, just nothing they've tried has really worked, certainly not in front of goal. Rema will try and pull the trigger late on here, but there's only 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining, and that's drifted out of play as well, adding to the woes of the side from Polokwane. I don't think he's had a bad match today, Sihle Makubela.
Yeah.
Nikani for Polokwane City, back from Mapua, and heading in the wrong direction for a moment was Polisi Makupu, but there's no damage done, and we have just a minute remaining at Kings Welachini Stadium. Makupu trying to knock it back to Mduduzi Mdansane. I'm sure he'll take some time to settle down into the rhythm of Richards Bay FC. Polisi Makupu was there. I almost thought there was going to be a back heel to Mdansane. It is a deflection. It's going to be a handful, this man.
but you just look at the confidence that Richards Bay are progressively building into the opposition's half. Look at that beautiful pass from Mashame. I think he's been doing exceptionally well to sort of release his teammates in front of goal. Well-threaded ball into the space, finding Matupu. Just getting a deflection for a corner.
Getting some game time. Kolisimo Tupo, Duduzim Dansani also getting some game time. It's good that the new signings are doing exactly that. This is Nkema now. Whips it in, across their own penalty area. Chance for the home side. I might have really bottled it up on that occasion.
Very nervy moments for Polokwane City. Every time there's a corner kick for Richards Bay.
Can hardly wait for the final whistle. Ronnie Gabriel. And here's a chat to Tato downstairs. It's going to be interesting listening to the views of both coaches. Polokwane City outplayed tonight, and that unbeaten record of 9 matches goes out of the window, but maybe a launching pad to rebuild on something before the match against Stellenbosch FC. Nice take from Brian O'Carth, and the final whistle from referee Christopher Kishtoer. Richards Bay FC came in with a solid game plan. It worked, they dominated, packed the midfield, didn't allow Polokwane City to play the style of football that we've become accustomed to. And Amanda, a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, a well-deserved victory for Richards Bay. I thought Polokwane City really started off the game very slow in the first half, but the likes of Allen, I thought they marshaled that back four of Richards Bay very well. Alongside of Makula, keeping a clean sheet definitely gives them the confidence. Back-to-back wins now. They certainly look like a team that have been working on the different combinations, trusting their younger players as well. Hopefully it will profit them, but the work rate as well from the likes of Figueiredo. That's the kind of work rate that can win you games.
Yeah, exactly. There was a spell of 4 matches where there were no victories and very little goals up to the loss in the Nedbank Cup opening round against Orlando Pirates. Suddenly a draw against Magesi, a win with 2 goals against Marumo, a win with 2 goals against Polokwane City, and 7 points in the space of 3 matches is nothing to be sneezed at when you just outside the relegation zone in the Betway Premiership. So whatever they're doing in the later stages of January and early February is working for Ronnie Gabriel. It's working for the Rich Boys. And they'll move up to 16 points, and suddenly Marumo Gallants find themselves a little bit further back, and Supersport United drop into 13th position before they take on Sekhukhune United tomorrow. It's been an entertaining match tonight. It's been a match that the coaching of Richards Bay FC has suddenly come to the fore. The understanding of the team and the team's understanding of the coaches and the way they've approached Polokwane City. They've obviously watched them with a great deal of purpose, and they've come out and they've applied themselves tonight and come up with the goods at the end of the day, and it really was a solid performance for Polokwane City as we said into the cup competition next, back to the Nedbank Cup, and hoping to do something against Stellenbosch FC. Never easy against Steve Parker down in the Winelands. Both goals came in the second half from Tetra with a header, Bomelo through broken play. Richards Bay FC dominant tonight, and they win by 2-0.
A much-deserved win for the Natal Rich Boys. A rich encounter here this evening at the Kings Willetini Stadium. Back-to-back wins, and tonight they managed to outwit and outplay Polokwane City by 2-0. But now let's deal with the matter at hand. The Betway Premiership Man of the Match accolade tonight goes to Takusane Bafana Mteto. Congratulations, absolutely fantastic today. First goal of the season.
Can you believe it? Actually, from my side, I'm not counting goals at all. No? As long as we get the 3 points, that's what matters for me. I think this man of the match, if we had a chance to take, actually to get more than 10, we can give it to the team. We fought a lot, especially for this win. Looking at the log, it wasn't easy, especially looking at Magesi, they won. So it put pressure to us, you know. But yeah, we soccer players, man. That's our job. We need to play under pressure, and I think we deserve this. We've been working so hard. Sometimes we don't get the point that we actually deserve, but we keep on going. We never lose hope. Ne? And this belongs to the supporters as well. We lose, we drew, they always come in numbers to support us, and I really appreciate this massive support from the Natal Rich Boys people. So yeah, we deserve it.
And today has shown the rich vein of form, the rich 2025. The results are coming about. You're turning a tide. What do you think has been the cause for this turn of fixtures and results for Richards Bay?
No, firstly, one thing I need to give credit to the management. It's not easy to believe in youngsters because some they crack, but our management, they give chance to the youngsters to show their talent, and I think they are working hard because they still have that energy to push us, So each and every time when we get into the game, we manage that we don't shout at them, we encourage them to keep going. So yeah, as long as we give them the ball, say no, do what you're capable of doing, they will give us the results, and we'll keep on going, we're not going down.
More of these results from Richards Bay FC, is that what you're saying? More of these performances from yourself, Thamsanqa?
If you can look at my game since I came in here, I have been working so hard. Like sometimes I always ask myself, right, each and every time when I get reply and comments from supporters, they say keep on going, you're working extra hard. But sometimes the results are not favoring us, and I keep on asking myself, how can somebody credit you while the results are not coming? So I think today the results came on our side, and it wasn't easy, especially playing against Polokwane. We need to give credit as well to the coaches. We follow their instruction and we executed very well into the field of play.
Tlakusane, congratulations. Absolutely fantastic today.
Thank you.
We were duly entertained by the Natal Rich Boys. Their fans are still here, quite happy about this win that they got tonight at the Kings Welitini Stadium. Joining me now is Coach Ronnie Gabriels of Richards Bay. Coach, a much-needed win, back-to-back wins here at the Kings Welitini Stadium. I mean, when you look at your game, how would you assess the Natal Rich Boys' win tonight?
I felt today it was a very controlled performance. The opposition found it hard to keep up with the tempo of our game. We are playing with a lot of youngsters, and the tempo is very high during the course of the first half and the second half. We took ascendancy in the first half and continued in the second half, and today we managed to score the goals. So we are ecstatic about the performance, but we must not get too carried away. We need to continue to grind, work hard, and the results will continue to come.
And when you talk about these results, Coach Ronnie Gabriels, tonight you had 5 players who were making their debuts. The likes of Msongo, you had Mdantsane who came on. With your 5 players that came on, how would you look at their performance tonight?
It was a good chance to bring in the new players like Dansane and Mutupu, give them a chance, and our